Well, I think everything's working. It might not be. I don't know. Oh, of course that didn't do what it was supposed to do. We'll see if it works now. Maybe, maybe not. Again, super gay Instagram trying to make it work. And I don't, it doesn't seem like it's going to. Copy the stream key and enter it in your streaming software. Select Go Live once your streaming software connects and displays. All right. Well, guess we're going to do this live chat regardless of whether or not Instagram is going to be super gay. Oh, I can see now maybe that the Instagram is working. So if you're watching on Instagram, yay, because Instagram fucking sucks for video. Just throwing that out there. If you're watching video on Instagram, might want to pull the condom out of your ass. All right. So tonight's live stream brought to you by two wonderful sponsors. Ammo Supply Warehouse, right there. Purveyors of fine freedom seeds. Use the coupon code TREMIS10 for $10 off of $100 or more. Also, over there somewhere is there. Five Rivers Armament. Coolest gun shop in southeastern Pennsylvania. If you notice, their sign is just a little bit higher. That was a specific request. So those are our sponsors for tonight. Now, who we got in the house? I'm going to move some screens around. I'll put this one over here. I just want it to be maximized. There we go. All right. Now, come back up to the comments. Javier, hello. TJ, did you notice that wonderful song? The Flexin' Riffs cover of Aerials. Uncle Guns, hello. John Ammons said it's good to see you in the house. Adam Hall. Max, always a pleasure to have all you fine people checking in. I believe we got some news-ish. Wow, I put it on that little screen. I can't even read what the fuck it says. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, I know which one's which now. So, just a recap from Aiden Donovan. Hello. Recap from last week. Dynamic Instructor. The 10th of October through the 12th of October in Bloomsburg. It is on the schedule. You can sign up for it now. People are already signed up for it. It is in the third quarter of the year. I am fleshing out the third quarter right now. I have a little window in November that I could go south for. But we have maybe till the end of February to make that decision and put it on the schedule. All right, my chat window had to be reloaded, so I missed the previous chats. I can look on the small screen. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Speaking of going south, there is a different going south trip planned for June. The end of June, there will be a trip south. And I know you're like, Gary, you don't like to go south in the summer. Well, here's the deal. It's inside. So we will be at Bullets and Barns. Man, don't hold me to that. Huntsville, Alabama. Put that in there. Shooting a moving workshop pistol and low light workshop pistol. Happening down in Huntsville on June 28th and 29th. Noel Bishop is arranged that. He's a pretty cool cat. I know he's friends with the John Meister who is watching. So if you are in the Huntsville, Alabama direction and you want to snake a pistol class in or two, I will be there at the end of June. Yes, Tap Rack. That is next week. And if we don't get a couple more people to sign up, it's probably going to get canceled. I know he has got an ass load of stuff coming up. People have been there. A couple different people have been there already this year. And he's got a couple more in the next month. There's like some big names going there. So there is the possibility that burning out the area for training days and funds for folks. So looks like I might get the short end of that stick, and I have some signups, but I might be sending out some refunds and not making it happen just because there ain't enough to make the cost of traveling to Tennessee or to Kentucky. Ain't enough to make it in the black. I think that's the accounting term. Might be, in the red is that regardless. Turtle, hello, sir. So yeah, that's that updates. We have another update coming too. Yeah, Andrew told me great stuff about the place. I was looking forward to it. However, may or may not happen. Because it's within a 1-day drive, I'll use my regular week before class. If we haven't got enough signups, we'll make the call, which I've only ever had to do a couple times. If it's a travel class where there's multiple days of travel, those we do a month out when we make the call, whether or not it's going to happen. So yeah, may not happen at Tap Rack. And maybe I'm less popular than I thought, or it might not. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, not as popular as I thought. Sorry, I was actually reading a message from Robert of Tap Rack just a moment ago. Or the people are all burnt out spent their money on cooler stuff. Is one more sign up in Kentucky enough? Maybe. But if you sign up, what's the worst that'll happen? In 2 days, I give you your money back. I mean, there's that. I believe, don't anybody quote me on this, but I do believe that Dave Biggers is commenting on the Instagram live, but that doesn't show up in the group chat box. All right, so I guess what I can do is I can remember that part about Instagram being gay. I will do this way. No, that's not at all what I wanted to see. This comes back to this window. And this goes into this window. Oh, that works. Now I can see Instagram on a whole different chat window. Tap Rack Ridge. I assume that's you, Mr. McKinney. I did not answer your text because, well, I'm here talking. And we were just talking about your place. How everybody says good stuff about it. And I could use just the 1 or 2 more people to sign up and make that worth the while. Like financially, not a big hit. So if we get a couple more, that'd be awesome. Troy might be coming. He's right above you in the comment block. You may or may not have seen that. Maybe Mr. Biggers, who is watching on Instagram, would like to drive his ass up from Tennessee. That would be awesome. He needs to pop in and take a visit there anyway. So, Dave, if you're still listening, next Saturday, I know I was the plans to see you next Sunday. Maybe you would come see me on Saturday. How about that? All right. I have no idea how late the Instagram thing is. Oh, it says nobody's watching, so maybe Dave isn't watching anymore. So no more viewership on Instagram, and like over a dozen on the other ones. I don't know. I've never once ever blast SB. Oh, hey man, I hope California's treating you well. Actually, you should get out of California if you haven't already. Yes, everything here is good. I have no multicam black anything for you. Or no, you like the Cryptech type, whatever the fuck the black Cryptech is. Definitely don't have any of that. But what I was going to say was I'm also over on the Rumbles, and I've never once had a comment from Rumble. I don't know if it shows up in the. Well, Troy just signed up. Awesome. I don't know if any Rumble comments show up in the chat, like this window right here, or if it only shows up in Rumble, like the Instagram does. It only shows up in the. Oh yes, you should definitely move closer to Brian. So what did I get all stuck on? I was talking about something. Scott Wexler, hello, sir. Oh, I just saw your order come in. Troy W. So I don't know what I was talking about. I got a few things on the list and not a lot. So like feel free to chit chat and get me off on a tangent about something. Ooh. I'm rolling through my stuff. Oh, yep, we got that down there. All right. Not a problem. Other things to talk about first. So classes added to Huntsville, Alabama. We've mentioned that. Also, we added, see if I can't swap that over. Navigation Dynamics 13-14 September here in the Bloomsburg area. The 13th is actually in Bloomsburg. The 14th is in Centralia. But like people will show up to Bloomsburg for the classroom portion, and then they'll get all the directions they need for the following day to go to the out in the woods portion. Then the following week, I believe that is the 20th. We are doing day 3 navigation over in Centralia. So if you want to earn your dog tag and get better with GPS, because on day 2, we're map and compass. I don't know why that looks like 2 compasses, but so map and compass. And then we'll briefly talk about some GPS stuff, just a little bit on day 2. And then day 3, we're going to go deeper into GPS stuff and do that in the afternoon. We're going to start around noon, and we're going to break for dinner, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some land nav in the dark. And that's where you can earn your dog tag. It's an orange dog tag with the, I guess it's like the orienteering sign on the back, the orange and white flag. It's an orange dog tag, so that's just lasered and white on the back. So that is how you get the orange dog tag. Poor bummer for Steven. There's not much else I can do. I'm running out of weekends. If I didn't do it on the 20th, we'd be doing night land nav in the snow. Normally we try to do it in like June, July, and I didn't have any time for like in the actual summer. So it'll probably still be chilly. So that's the other thing that we added short like to the schedule. We're also looking at a 4-day fish week in December, and oh, good, that's a good question. And of course, also in December, we'll do the Yule training day with some sort of theme. Don't know what the theme's going to be this year. The question was, what is your go-to handheld light for low light? That would be the Surefire Tactician. While I'm a huge fan of Z-Bolt stuff, and I have a Z-Bolt handheld, and it's got some fucking power. It's a LED handheld as opposed to the LEP. LEP is awesome on a rifle because it reaches like 7,000 miles, but it does not have the best spill. It has a lot of throw, and for a handheld, most of the time I'm going to use that with a pistol. And if I'm going to be running a pistol, I probably not going to take shots at 1,000 yards. Probably not going to take one with a rifle either, but the light reaches out there if you have an LEP. So I like the Tactician because it has a lot of spill, and it really doesn't have much of a hot spot. I don't feel that I need a hot spot shooting a pistol. Some folks find it detrimental, and we'll probably see that next weekend in class. So I'm a big fan of the Tactician for that reason, that the beam shape is really good and the output is good enough. And the tail cap is not clicky. Not a fan of the clicky tail caps in the least bit. My only downside to the Tactician is not in the use, but in the carry, and the clip fucking sucks. However, Christian Green, mad genius that he is, made an awesome titanium clip for it. And so you swap the factory clip out for the Green Force Tactical clip, and it's good. Looking at December, it's going to be Fish 1, Fish 2, Fish 3, Fish 3.5, back to back to back to back. With Fish 3.5 being on a Saturday. So then it would be Fish 3 on a Friday, Fish 2 on a Thursday, Fish 1 on a Wednesday. And then we might do an abbreviated Fish 6 on Sunday. And I say abbreviated because the shoot house closes 3 hours earlier on Sunday. So we can only be there from like 10 to 5 instead of 10 to 8. You like to do long days when we're doing fish classes. Yes, the Green Force Tactical clip makes it a whole new light. The clip that comes on it is strong and holds the light in the wrong orientation. You can put a clip on it from an L2 LumaMax, which holds the light in the proper orientation, but it's weak as shit and likes to break. So Green Force, they knocked it out of the park. And the clip's titanium. And, titanium's awesome. Something I noticed today, I got a couple ideas from Sonny. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I was going to steal ideas from him, proprietary molecules and all that. And he said that it was fine. And I was like, well, I can't be stealing if you gave me permission, damn it. But one of the ideas is I was going to put episode numbers on these live streams. And I had to go count all the ones that I've done. And turns out this is the 175th Liveshat. Some of them used to be called live streams, and some of them were called live chats. I don't remember when I switched it to Liveshat, but if you were wondering, I typoed it, making a Facebook event. And instead of CHAT, I put SHAT. And since we shoot the shit in the chat, I became the Liveshat. So, speaking of Sonny, he's just jumped into the chat. One of the ideas I totally lifted was I was going to put episode numbers on. So I went and counted all the ones I've done previously. There were 174. That does include the one that YouTube nixed like 9 minutes into it because I showed a sim rifle. It wasn't a functioning firearm, but it was the shape of one, and they nixed it. But that got added in there. So that makes this episode 175. Yes, lots of shat. We've shat here. The other idea that I stole was the well, he does like a book of the week, and I'm not going to do a book of the week because that puts too much expectation on me to have a book every week to talk about. But I did finish a book this week, which was a grueling task because it was an audiobook, and man, are they slow. Like it's tough to like sit through an audiobook, an unabridged audiobook. I can read way faster than I can listen. Shinde, hello, sir. Hey, I don't know if you noticed while you're still on here, Shin, but over here, your sign, let's see if I can make this happen in the mirror, is a little bit higher than Becker's sign. You're welcome. So, at any rate, I have a book that I finished listening to. I've been driving 3 hours a day, so it gave me time to gruelingly listen through books. And I found, as you're going to speed it up, like 1.5 speed, that's a little too quick. Like 1.25 is gets through it a little quicker, but I cannot process information as quickly through my ears as I can through my eyes. And if I'm trying to finish a book, I took an online test once and I peaked out at like 800 words a minute. If I slow down and really focus, it goes down to like 450 words a minute. But I can't listen to 400 words a minute. Like I just can't. I can't process that as fast as I can by looking at it. So, well, I can go quicker on Audible, like Adam pointed out. I just can't. I can't process it as quickly as I can if I'm reading. So, anyhow, the book. Do you want to know what the book is? Dude, TJ says he watches YouTube at 1.5 to 2 speed, which would probably be interesting when you're listening to music, which is mostly what I do on YouTube. But if you're watching the live stream, like you could get it done quicker. And if you could figure out how to turn it up to 2 speed while it was live and not watching it later, I could be done already. That's a joke for everybody out there that doesn't understand the point of humor. Because now that I'm live streaming over on Instagram, I'm going to get a bunch of stupid comments from fucking retards. And you know what they say about folks that watch on Instagram? They're gay. All right. Mike Fiore, hello, sir. The book, I think I have over here a picture of the cover of the book. And then I will tell you what it is called. It is... All right, there it goes. The Templars, a rise and spectacular fall of God's holy warriors. So now I'll see if I can't take that off of the screen. I saw your comment, Tom, of gross, but I don't know. The only other things I see is that people joined. So anyhow, the Templar book, I will even give you a link because it goes to my Amazon shop. So I get a little kickback of some type. That is the link to the book. What was very interesting about this book, I've read a lot of books on Knights Templar. What was really good about it was it stayed completely away from mysticism up until like a chapter after the epilogue. So it didn't talk about like, oh, they found something under Solomon's temple that gave them magical powers that made the Pope cower in fear and give them all these privileges. It stayed away from that kind of stuff, and it stayed away from there's a treasure on Oak Island that they like all the things that like the myths that sound super interesting. It avoided all those and just stuck to them rising to their peak of power, and then crumbling off at the end. And like the geopolitical aspect of that, the military aspect of some of their battles. And then there was like the epilogue part. And then in the epilogue, they mentioned there's all this fantastical stuff that people have written about, and like the Holy Grail, chuckle. So I did appreciate that it stayed away from the Netflix movie adaptation. Excuse me. So that it was my not book of the week, but book that I finished since the last live chat. I did tell you guys, I think last week, that I was reading or listening to it. So indeed I was. I got a couple new swag things coming in, I think this week, a couple different stickers coming in. I'll show those to you on the social medias as they pop in. So if you buy something from me, I'll throw stickers in it. Some of you folks out there, I already sent some stickers too, just because I thought you would appreciate them. I do that kind of thing once in a while. So there was the my book. I got one question. I missed that spot earlier. We were talking about travel classes, and I said I got a little window in November for traveling south. If you aren't in the South warm and want to see me in November, 2026 probably going to be the year that maybe you can make that happen. I am booked through October of pretty much everything, and in November I'm not going north. So I wanted to mention that 2026, if you're looking for a travel class, that'd be the one. Froy Monteverde, hello, sir. I know there is a delay on the Instagram because I can see the different windows popping around, and so you'll hear that in a moment. What time we got? Oh, only 8:30. Perfect. Feel free to ask the questions. You can even ask them on the Instagram because I can read those comments over here, and then I will answer them right there in the screen. If you are on Rumble and you have typed something and I have not answered you, it's because I am not seeing Rumble comments in my unified comment section. I can see Facebook and YouTube. I don't even know if Rumble comments show up over there. So I know Instagram doesn't. Oh, so look at that. Folks at Tap Rack Ridge, including the fella earlier that just signed up. They have free on-site lodging, 8 people in a bunkhouse. Cigars and coffee available. Also, coffee, awesome cigars, whatever you're into. I'm not here to judge. That is fantastic for free on-site lodging. Hey, make that 7. Like, I'm going to take one of those. That'll make my life easier. And then if you stay in the bunkhouse too, we can like shoot the shit, hanging around, having coffee, and you can have cigars and maybe a fine beverage or two. Well, we're going to get done really late. We'll probably just crash out. But the next morning at breakfasty time, I don't really eat breakfast, but coffee in the morning sounds good. I also hear that there is a class on that Sunday. Impact weapons. Somebody's doing an impact weapons class on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I know there's a delay. I'll hear about it in a few seconds. If I'm correct, I don't remember who. I just remember in my head that there was an impact weapons class from somebody. And if that somebody, Robert, I'm sure you know him. If that dude wants to swap classes, I don't care what his costs, what mine costs. I haven't looked. But if he wants to do a swap, like he comes to my class, I go to his class, I'm game. Like, let him know. Reach out to me, or he can do it through you and just show up, and I'll show up the next day since I'm already going to be there. And I'll drive home after that. Or I'll drive out after that. So there you go. If he's down for that, whoever he is, because I just don't remember. I'm totally cool with that. I'm a big fan of like having what we call it, the foreign exchange students, foreign instructors students. I guess if you teach classes and I teach classes and you want to swap training days, I'm totally game for it. Whoever you are, whatever you do. John Massey. Was he the guy that asked if he could pay in cash when he showed up? Because there was a guy that asked that, and I said, sure. I obviously am not going to dig into my computer and look and see who was signed up and whatnot. But I don't. I was planning on showing up in the morning, so making it in the morning for his. But either way, for general principle for anybody out there, though, if you teach things and you want to trade training days, reach out to me, and we'll see if we can't make that happen. Obviously, sometimes when we do that kind of thing, if there's additional costs, like aviation fuel or sim rounds, I tell folks that I've done this with before, if you come to me and there's a range fee, that's all you owe for, well, unless there's like sim rounds or something like that. And then by the same token, if I come to you and there's some type of cost associated with the class that isn't just like a free tuition exchange that we're doing, I would pay that. But I like to barter. It also keeps the government out of my tax business. I mean, you can claim your end if you want, but I'm not going to claim mine. So the question I got, totally unrelated to anything involving the topics we normally talk about, was a cat sent me a message and said, hey, you always seem to have your finger on the pulse of bands I haven't heard of that are really cool. What's the newest thing? And I don't know what the newest thing is, because that was the gist of the question, was what's the newest thing? And but because I looked into this band, has like 3 albums out and have been around for like a decade or so, playing shows and whatnot. But I hadn't heard of them until last year. I heard a song, and I don't recall liking it or not liking it. It was just on XM. But like a week ago, I heard it again, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I got to look these guys up. Who are they? So I take my phone, I take a picture of my dash when there's a band on there. So later, when I'm looking for pictures to put on the Instagram and stuff, I scroll through and go, oh, picture of my dash. What is the name of the band I needed to look at? So the name of the band I've been listening to is Alien Weaponry. I think they're from New Zealand, and they're pretty heavy, cool, little different sounding. They do a lot of like tribal vocal kind of things. And the song that I'm gonna butcher how this is said into the title of the song that I totally dig. It's probably the most popular song because I'm trendy like that. Is Kai Tangata. I might be mispronouncing that. I don't know. But I will copy that and I'll give you guys a link in the comment section. I don't even know, are those things like fucking clickable? So there's a video for that song. It's pretty awesome. The song's pretty awesome. The video, it was a little lower budget, but it's pretty cool. There's a dude in a canoe with a rifle. Like, as a guy who has been in a kayak with a rifle, I can appreciate a dude in a canoe with a rifle. He actually had it way better than me because he's the dude in the front of the canoe, and there's like 4 other guys there rowing. And when I was in the canoe with a rifle, I would have to let the rifle slung and paddle, and then lay the paddle on my lap to pick the rifle up. So, like, the canoe might actually be a better plan than the kayak. But I don't have a canoe. I do have a kayak. I would tell you this. I'm not nearly as concerned about losing my rifle in the water. A, it was on a sling. And B, if it does go in the water, the creek that I was kayaking in, most of it is not much. Most of it's less shallower than like you could stand in it and your head would come out. The spots that are deeper aren't much deeper. So if I lost a rifle, I could probably find it. However, I was super worried about my knots. So my PVS 14, I had the bungee coming from the rail over to the PVS, and I had the other retainer that fits on the shroud also going to the PVS 14. Like, both of them went to the PVS 14, and then the one from this one just wrapped around the mount, so that I had 3 forms of retention spread across 2 places, because I was worried that was small enough that if it went in the water, I'd never fucking find it again. So I was, I guess I could have mentioned, I was kayaking with the rifle in the dark. It was a little cooler, like, to be under nods in a kayak with a rifle. However, most places would get weirded out if you're doing that in public. So in the dark, nobody knew I was there. So there was that. I also was wearing a plate carrier and not a life vest. And Pennsylvania law requires you to be wearing a life vest. Actually, technically, I think I was within the law because you're supposed to have a life vest in the vessel. And I did have the life vest in the vessel. I just wasn't wearing it, nor could I really get to it because it was inside the kayak. But I did have a life vest available to me, but I was wearing body armor instead. Because doesn't everybody when they kayak? Okay. So that was my only question that I had. I did post a spot on Facebook for people to post questions if they had any, and I did not go and check live. No, didn't want to do that. I'm struggling to see if I switch to my business profile. Y'all just got to bear with me here. I'm going to see if anybody else asked anything, and if they didn't, no, I don't want to edit it. I just wanted to watch it. Is there not any way to do that? Oh, there's a live button. There is the live. All right. Well, Doesn't look like anybody asked questions that I can find. Post up. Any comment? Any questions right here? Nobody answered. Perfect. So I got nothing to answer there. Body armor in the shower is the best way to wash it. Yeah. I mean, it is a pretty good way to wash it. Also, I found that when you wear gear and it gets wet, it starts to shape itself better to you. The Cordura, it gets more pliable when it gets saturated. And then when it dries, it tends to be less rigid. Well, it kind of re-rigids. It just re-rigids with some curve. It makes the whole thing more comfortable, kind of like breaking in boots. You can break in boots without them being wet. It just takes longer. When I was in the Navy, I get a new pair of boots. My favorite were the green jungle boots, and I just wear them swimming. Like take them to the beach, the Silver Strand there at Coronado, and go swimming in the ocean and wear them until they were dry. And by the time they were dry and my feet were in miserable shape, the boots were broken in. And after a day or two of my feet healing up, the boots were perfect. Now, one time I tried to thwart the plan, and I wore them swimming, got them totally saturated, probably like an hour in the ocean. And when I got out, I took them off, dried myself off, and I had bought these, like, at the time, what I considered to be very expensive, like $40 Gore-Tex sock booty things. I put them on my feet so that my feet would be dry instead of soaked from the wet boots. Yeah, I'm gonna outsmart it. And the problem with that was that there's a lot of abrasion with wet leather, and I ended up rubbing a hole in the Gore-Tex. And Gore-Tex advertises that it's breathable, and maybe it's got some level of breathability to it. But when you stuff it inside a wet fucking jungle boot, it doesn't really breathe. And I just put my feet in the Gore-Tex booties, not like in a sock in the Gore-Tex booties. So my feet were still wet. There was just a piece of Gore-Tex between the wet boot and the wet foot. So it was like sliding around slimy, and I didn't get blisters, but there was a bunch of at least abraded parts that were uncomfortable. So nowadays I don't really wear boots, and I just buy Merrells that come like kind of pre-broken in. But if I had to wear boots, salt water, wear them swimming, wear them till they're dry. That's the ticket. At this point, I might do the come out from swimming, dry myself off, put on a pair of wool socks, put a membrane over top. At this point, it would probably be like the bag that a loaf of bread comes in over the sock, and then slide that in the boot so that the boot wouldn't soak the sock and my foot. And then the wool sock would do a better job of making my foot not slide around a slimy plastic Gore-Tex booty. So there's your training tip of the day. There I'm stealing something else from Sunny. Your tactical tip of the day. Breaking in boots, salt water is awesome. If you don't have salt water, I'm sure fresh water works relatively the same. And if you don't have either of those, you need to move out of the desert, which you should do anyway. Do I have a favorite must always have piece of equipment for wet conditions? Well, kind of. Absolutely dry socks. However, it really depends like what kind of wet conditions. Are we talking wet conditions where we're doing like water crossings? And before anybody's like, oh, you got to cross the Mekong Delta. If there's a little stream that you can't step across, that's a water crossing. If you get wet feet, that fucking sucks. Water crossings don't always have to look like Vietnam, where you're wading with the rifle above your head. versus wet conditions like rain. Because if it's raining, that type of, like we're out in the rain, doing a class and we're on the range and it's raining. A Gore-Tex jacket is awesome. Of all the things that I keep with me all the time for rain conditions, there is always a Gore-Tex jacket in my truck with me. And I got my truck went in the shop last week. And when I put my shit in my wife's car so I could drive that, it was the rain jacket came with me. Like, rain jackets are that important. Wet feet, wet hands fucking suck when it's cold. That's Mr. Will Crutcher, who commented that. I agree completely. I've not found awesome waterproof gloves. I have gloves that say Gore-Tex. They're not really waterproof. Also, if you're going to try waterproof gloves, you need to have ones with a longer cuff so that your jacket comes over them. Because when your hands are down, if the gloves are over the jacket or there's a gap, water can run inside. And I'm not walking around with my hands in the air like it's a USPSA match. I surrender. So I find it harder with gloves, but one of the things that keeps my hands dry are the Gore-Tex pockets in my Gore-Tex raincoat. So if you have like a GI raincoat, it's got 2 pockets that go down and 2 pockets that go to the side. You got to use the side ones, because if you use the down ones, they fill with rain too. And then it's actually like a bag of water in your jacket because it holds it. Because the pockets are waterproof. It keeps water out until you put water in, and then it keeps water in. It doesn't let it back out. You got to turn it inside out. So anyhow, you get the idea. I would say, mention what Will said with wet feet, the Gore-Tex footwear. However, Gore-Tex footwear is certainly waterproof when you buy it, and for some time after that. How much time? Don't know. You'll find out when it's no longer waterproof. I have never again bought Gore-Tex booties. The ones I ruined in the Navy were the only ones I ever tried buying. However, years and years ago, like in the 90s, I used to go play paintball all the time. We would play in the winter, in the snow, in the slush. And the best thing for grip in those times were football cleats. Football cleats don't even come in waterproof or really insulated. So wool socks, and then the paint came in. It was like 2,000 round cases, and there was 2 like 50 or 1,000 round bags in the case. So we would open up the paint and pour it in all the pods, and then I'd take those bags and I'd take my shoe off, put my foot in the bag, and put the bag back in the shoe. So that would keep my wool sock dry. And I do that, once on each foot, and so that we used the bags, and that was good for keeping the snowy slush out of the football cleats. Obviously, if you step in something higher than ankle deep, it doesn't work. But for just having wet grass, wet snow, not deep wet snow, it worked pretty good. Hmm. 8:52, almost getting time. I got to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So Gore-Tex footwear is also a double-edged sword. If you get water in them, it sucks. Once it starts to get leaking, replace them. Wool, alpaca, yak socks are a lifesaver. So technically, I don't know about yak, but alpaca is considered wool too, because what we consider wool is sheep's wool, and alpaca wool is alpaca wool. I had an alpaca farmer tell me that once, and I believed him. Also, they don't like it if you ask how alpaca tastes. Turns out, I guess they're not meant to eat. But at the Great American Outdoor Show, which I think it's over, isn't it? Or is it still going on? It ends this weekend. That might be the case, because it's like a 9-day show. There's a lot of outdoorsy vendors there. they had alpaca farmers, and they were selling a bunch of alpaca socks and sweaters and scarves and blankets. And one of the fellows I was with, we stopped and chatted with them, and they talked about raising alpacas. They didn't really talk about the wool. They talked about raising alpacas. It ended on Sunday. Huh. I thought it started on Saturday. Who knew? Must have started the previous Saturday. Either way. So I'm there listening, talking, well, mostly listening because I didn't care about raising alpaca. And they talked for a lot about the ins and outs of, animal husbandry or whatever you call it when you raise animals. And the guys would said, "Hey man, thanks for answering my questions." And he goes, "Yeah, if you got any more, just ask." And I said, "Hey, I have one." "Sure, go ahead, young man." This was a few years back when I was still a younger man. And I said, "So I heard a lot about alpacas, but what I haven't heard is what do they taste like?" And he kicked me out of his booth. So in Europe and Asia, you find a lot of yak clothes, and it is still wool. Makes sense. I don't think I've ever seen a yak. I've yacked. That's, slang for throwing up. Anyhow. Yeah, everything on my list talked about. I think I've answered everything anybody has asked about. Scrolling up through there. Oh, hey, did I mention? This is an advertiser plug. If you buy a Tremis Dynamic signature rifle, it's sitting right there, but I don't really want to show it and get this video next. And you buy it from Midwest Industries direct, and you use the coupon code TREMIS, you'll get 10% off. That's a healthy fucking savings for a signature rifle. And if you have it sent to 5 Rivers Armament in Easton, PA, they will do the transfer for free. All right. That was the only thing on my list from a couple weeks ago. I'll just try and mention it every time. Oh, also, what do you think of this? I got a new idea. I am going to make a new countdown video. So you know how I do like the 30-second or the 60-second countdowns in the beginning? I'm going to make that an advertisement for Ammo Supply Warehouse. They are our premium sponsor. And I said, Monsieur Becker, if you would like to make a commercial, like a short video clip, I will play it in every live chat. And since now I've committed myself to playing like a 30-second Ammo Supply Warehouse video, and I also commit myself to like a 30-second countdown, why not make the 30-second countdown the Ammo Supply Warehouse video? Oh, yes, Tom, I have a coupon code at Midwest Industries. It is TREMIS. It will save you 10% on anything you buy from them, including an AK Alpha Rail. And if you call in an order, because I know people have done that, and there's nowhere to enter a code, if you tell them, hey, I have a coupon code and it's TREMIS, they'll give you the 10% off. If you walk into the showroom and tell them you have a coupon code, they'll give you the 10% off. Some years ago, they had a few people who had coupon codes. Most of them were instructors, but a couple people were just folks that shot. And that was the year that I got my first coupon code with them. And at the end of the year, I was all excited. My coupon code had been used more than the other. I think they said they had 8, but I could be mistaken. My code had been used the most. And if I'm not mistaken, like if you added up number 2 through 8, theirs were still less than what mine were. And there were some big names, folks that had a coupon code, and mine went out. Yay! Also from Becker, you can use the coupon code TREMIS10, and that will get you $10 off of an order of $100 or more. So there are coupon codes out there. TREMIS25 will save you 10% at Defiant Munitions. TREMIS10 will save you 10% off at True North Concepts. Maybe you guys could help me out here and remind me if there are some other ones. Sneaky Gear doesn't work anymore because I don't think they're making stuff anymore. Resources, Known Associates. Tremis will save you 10% at Blackbeard Fire Starters. I don't think the Shoot Steel code is valid anymore. GMT 10 will save you 10% off at Grayman Tactical. Yeah, that's what I got coupon codes for. So there you go. Oh, as you also might be aware, over on the resources page, there is a page called resources tab section, drop down, Known Associates. And it starts off with brands we love. And then there's trainers we recommend. And below that, there's affiliates. There's a giant fucking graphic. That's my Amazon shop. And then there are, below that, affiliate links. We've just added Condition 1 cases. I have been using a Condition 1 case for my UTM Glocks for a while now. And it is performed as well as my Pelican cases, and I have an other brand case, but I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, the brand. They've all worked very well, but Condition 1, I finally accepted their affiliate link. There also will be a Tremis code with Iron Pig Armament. As it turns out, he will send it in a day or so. He just has to set it up first. Who else did we just add? SoftRep. That is a website that has a bunch of military-centric news articles. There's an affiliate link for them. I get a little kickback. And Princeton Tech also got an affiliate code with Princeton Tech. They do make some fucking awesome headlamps. And they have a new helmet light. I think it's called the Charge Max IR. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what the new light is. Saw it at SHOT. It's awesome. I have one coming my way for some T&E, and I'll make a video on it. But it's new, so they don't have a stockpile on the shelf. And as they make them, they're getting shipped out to dealers and distributors. So I did slide my name in there to get one at some point. But also, I believe Mr. Fiore and I are going to go pay them a visit and get a tour of the factory. So that'll be pretty cool. We're also going to go visit Kestrel, the wind meter and gamer timer people. Don't have a Kestrel affiliate code. Oh, and getting one set up through Go Dark bags. So you'll be able to save some money on a Go Dark bag. And that is a prerequisite that you have a Go Dark bag or some type of Faraday bag for the Wolverine Warfare class. So if you are coming to the class, you have two choices. Don't bring a phone at all, or bring a phone in a Faraday bag. Then you can use it for emergencies. And yes, it will not count to just turn off the phone. It needs to be in a Faraday bag. Or you can just leave it in your car, because we're not going back to our cars either. So those are the newest ones that we got added. Those were all in the last few days, and I updated the website earlier today. Actually, there's one on there that is I was supposed to remove. I will do that as soon as the live stream is over. So, Robert said that he could save a buttload of money just watching the live chat. That is, that's actually, I told people before, if you want to sponsor my YouTube channel, not the live chats, just the videos in general, that was how much it cost, was give my viewers a coupon code. There will be a coupon code for Go Dark bags. So not just an affiliate link where I get a little kickback. You'll get a discount too. They're just setting that up. We discussed that today. So it happened yet, but it will. But yeah, I know there are a bunch of people out there big in the YouTube world that charge thousands and thousands of dollars to be a channel sponsor. And to date, the only thing I've ever charged for being a channel sponsor on the YouTube channel was give me a coupon code that I can share in the comment section. And then if you're someone like Turtle, like I will write Iron Pig Armament, but I can't link it, because if there's a link coming from the YouTube comment, or not the comment section, but the info section, and on that link, they sell anything they consider to be cool. They will give you a channel strike. So like for Midwest Industries, I don't know if you noticed, but if you go to the videos, it says save 10% at Midwest Industries with coupon code or whatever. But the word Midwest Industries is not linked. Now, over on my link tree, which is linked, I do have a spot for channel sponsors. The problem is I don't always keep the link tree updated because, well, I'm a one-man fucking operation. If the Go Dark link doesn't get set up in time, he knows another company that has an affiliate link. That would probably be bulletin.net. Yeah, I got all excited because the affiliate, the company that I use for a bunch of other stuff, they were on, and then they said, yeah, we don't do that anymore. So they actually offered me 3 different ways to get a discount, and I had to decide which one of those 3 ways I wanted to do. And I think we're going to do a landing page that gives you a cookie, and then when you go to the landing page, it'll auto-generate a discount for you that you can use to save, I think, 10%. And then it'll also give you a cookie so that I get my little kickback. All right, so that's what I got. I got 9:06 according to my Nixie clock, which I know isn't the same as what my phone or what my computer says. I just have to figure out how to change that because I don't remember without looking at the manual. So anyhow, point being, time's up. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. And until then, you all take it easy.